Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a game between Monchi versus TSL's Polt here on Tal'Darim Altar. Just had to cast some games that weren't TVZ. Luckily I found a Protoss and a Terran game. Once again, hats off and thanks to Zotac Cup. It seems like they're one of the people that continue to still sponsor Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2 tournaments in the middle of this lull right now and making those replays public. Now, Monchi spawning as the green Protoss player here on the bottom left-hand side of the map. TSL's Polt spawning on the top right-hand side of the map as the blue Terran. One thing I will mention is my daughter is currently sleeping, so I'm trying to keep my voice down, and hopefully I'll be able to get through all of these games for you, even though right now I think my voice sounds like it belongs on the classical channel. Now, we'll see what's going to happen in this matchup. Tal'Darim Altar, a rather large map, good spawning distances, and that makes rushes a little bit more difficult. Because this is going to be a full cross spawn, air harassment will take some time to get there as well, so Banshees may not be a viable option for Terran. But Protoss still has the option to try to use any Warp Prism play, as they're able to move home field advantage with just a pylon and some Warp Gates. Now, Polt is opening up with a front door barracks. We'll see if he does go for gas or if he tries to go for a gasless expansion. And that does appear to be the case right now. Yes, it is going to be a gasless expansion coming in from Polt, or perhaps a delayed gas in order to get that command center up a little bit more early. Meanwhile, Monchi doing the same thing and not even going for a gateway first. He's going to be going for a 15 Nexus. So a very aggressive expansion play, as he should start scouting out in just a moment. And a little curious on the positioning on this pylon. The pylon is all the way back home, and normally when you try to expand this early out, you want to at least be able to have a gate, a pylon here, or something up a little bit to the front, perhaps to narrow down this choke point, and then use sentries up there in order to do a decent block off. Polt is training up some Marines. Both sides are scouting out. They will pretty much figure out the strategies from each of the players in just a moment here. Second pylon coming in from Monchi, as we'll see when these players take or build their significant buildings. Gateway already down, assimilator now coming in, so it is going to be perhaps a 15 or 16 Nexus into Gateway's cybernetics core, and whether or not Monchi will be able to continue to chrono boost is a key question here, as he had somehow saved up a good amount of energy on his Nexus, most likely because he was supply blocked. Now, we do see a probe attempting to make his way up the ramp, but it will end up getting shot down by two Marines, able to prevent that probe from really scouting any true information at all. SCV looked like it actually gathered some minerals. Yeah, it gathered some minerals off over here, and now is making his way around. One of the nice things about this is that if any time your SCV gets surrounded, instead of having to click on a mineral patch, all you have to do is hit the C key, and then it will mineral path through. Since it is already holding minerals, it will be able to simply mineral path and return the cargo. Now you're going to see the probe or the SCV wander around straight through here. It can just hit C now. You can see now. Also, oh, was that assimilator spotted? No, it was not, but you can see that the warp gate tech is already being researched, and now chrono boosting out a stalker. The SCV doing another pass, and it will spot the assimilator this time around. So nope, it hasn't actually spotted the assimilator, as it's now making its way back home, wants to make sure that it stays alive, and this command center has been completed, now upgrading to an orbital command. We are still gasless coming in from Polt. He is going into that double refinery just now. So he's going to be utilizing and really focusing on Marines in order to fend off any attack. Meanwhile, Monchi may be try to be aggressive, set up a proxy pylon here, and he is already getting 2 additional gateways and running off of 2 bases with 34 probes, a very heavy probe advantage in this matchup. So already, if he just continues to chrono boost out more and more probes, he's going to have a very strong economy and be able to perhaps support 6 gateways sometime around the 8-minute mark. Now, orbital command, SCVs are trying to be trained, probes are or were doubly trained. Looks like there's a momentary lapse now, not training probes back at home. We are getting up some sentries as well. Only two gateways right now, and perhaps it looks like Monchi's going to try to just warp out some more units. There is also a proxy robotics facility So that most likely will be for a bunker, and we are going to have some very early aggression against Polt, especially if Polt doesn't have stim. Without stim, he's not going to be able to deplete the shields on the robotics facility nearly fast enough. The Immortals are going to be able to deal a lot of damage to a Marauder. The Marauder needs to get past those shields before they can really start dealing anything, as we now see more sentries added. So this is very aggressive, getting those early sentries in play in order to gather up as much energy. You can see now 3 additional warp gates, what gateways, and eventually warp gates will be added as well. So it is going to be a 6-gate push with a proxy robotics facility. We're chrono boosting this now, and if the timing is right, it should probably hit at the 8 or 9 minute mark, and that Immortal will be able to deal a lot of burst damage. This is not looking good for Polt. Harvester count 36 to 45. Does he suspect anything? Polt doesn't suspect anything, with only one or second bunker now being established. But the units look like they're already on the move, waiting for that Immortal. Are they going to wait for a second one? They are going to be waiting for a second Immortal to make sure that even if one gets focused down, it is enough. But the army advantage and the food advantage of Monchi is simply so large at this stage. A huge gas advantage, a 12 food advantage, as this second Immortal will be popping out. Marines need to jump inside. Stim still not quite yet done. This is going to be very, very difficult to try to fend this off. The Marauders do have a range of 7 inside, but now in comes the Immortals. The Immortals now pushing their way up the ramp. This is not looking good. Immortals and both sides are attacking. There's a Guardian Shield. Marines now trying to come over. SCV's going to try to repair, but no. This will be your classic bunker bust here. Force Fields and Immortals. Polt in trouble. A lot of SCVs unable to really engage the Marines now, however, getting able to get off some easy shots here. Sentries still having a lot of Guardian Shield, preventing a lot of the damage from those Marines that would have normally been dealt. Polt losing some Harvesters there, 6 Harvesters, as SCVs are now trying to re-engage. The Zealots leading the charge even though they are low on hit points, and there's a Force Field. So one Force Field down. At taking a look at the Orbital Command already down to 500, 400 hit points. It will get destroyed very quickly, as Polt just getting rolled over here on Tal'Darim Altar. Zealots chasing after those Immortals, and there is the good game, a very, very well executed plan coming in from Monchi, as TSL Polt unable to fend off the attack. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.